Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode. My name is Declan Young. I am once again joined by.
He is once again joined by Evan Blackwell, rightful the co-host,
Mhm,
faithful, dutiful co-host.
that is right. And we have some news that was released. As always, lots of entertainment news this week, which is always good for us to discuss. I myself am just fresh off a plane from Tampa Bay, so the things I do for you people, um, you know, hours removed from flying home, I think the least you could do is like this video. If you're listening to it on audio, you can download our episodes. You can leave us a 5-star review. Those never hurt. You can share them with your friends. And if you want to see more stuff from us, if you want to recommend stuff to us, you can always contact me or Evan, I'm sure. Reach out and let us know you like the show by showing some support. So, we got a lot of news, like I said, to talk about. Mainly news from DC. We got news from Disney Plus, and we got a lot of new like casting in DC, a good amount, but also just in general. Issa Rae signed a huge deal, which we were just discussing pre-show. So I think we'll start off with probably the biggest thing of the day, today at least, which was the Suicide Squad trailer.
Oh yes,
This was, of course, directed by Sir James Gunn of fame from directing Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
James Gandolfini, if you will.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of like this is the second week in a row where we've got Marvel and DC stuff on the same day. And if you think that's not intentional, that these two are dropping things on top of each other, as we had a new Falcon and Winter Soldier episode and a Suicide Squad trailer, uh, you're wrong. That's all I have to say to you because I know everything.
I think
Uh,
Friday is a pretty popular day for these kinds of
no, you don't
things.
understand. It's you can't like Marvel and DC. You have to like one or the other.
It's impossible.
Hmm. So that's the takeaway from today's show. I saw this trailer. Evan saw this trailer. Evan, what do you think about
I thought it looked pretty. I like Sylvester Stallone Shark. That was pretty neat. Everything in this trailer just kind of made me go, "Oh, that's pretty neat.
it? Hmm.
That looks pretty nice." It kind of when I heard, oh, James Gunn will be doing the next Suicide Squad thing, I thought, oh, maybe, it's DC, they got less people running the boat over there. Maybe this one will be like really off the wall, really strange. And this felt way more controlled than I was expecting. It feels like, oh, so it's just like the other Suicide Squad that we got again, which I mean,
Well,
fine.
this one's directed by James Gunn.
Yeah, but this one's directed by James Gunn.
Yeah,
But
I'm really excited for this. The trailer, I agree with you on the trailer. I was kind of just like, oh, that's cool. I didn't see anything that absolutely blew my mind. Doesn't
I
mean
think
it's a
it'll be
bad thing
good.
though.
I think it'll definitely be at least an enjoyable film. I think hopefully maybe I think they're probably holding back from revealing too much stuff in the trailer. That could be it. So maybe it'll go a bit. But from what I saw, it looks like just a fun, good time. The jokes were funny. The jokes are funny here. I laughed at the trailer. I was like, haha.
Jokes are funny.
And maybe that's a very low bar. Maybe I've just been so my palate has been so dulled that a joke that makes me laugh automatically puts a work in like the top 10 things I've seen in the month. So,
That's a very good point because we'll talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier later. But, obviously Marvel goes for its humor and its content and it's not as it's you're not watching a Dave Chappelle stand-up special when you're going to a Marvel movie, or Bill Burr or whoever your favorite comedian is. But I was thinking that I was like, am I just so like
I'm
sad
so
that
out of touch.
nothing's funny to me anymore, or is this just not funny? And I think you can walk that fine line, but I agree that I think this movie was, or this trailer was funny. I liked the opening sequence of them on the bus with John Cena in a polo shirt and his helmet still as Peacemaker, who's also getting his own show on HBO Max.
Yeah, I thought they'd be with like that floating helmet and the floating
Sorry,
polo
I don't know why I named someone. Yeah,
shirt.
how could I?
It's terrible that that joke
Artistic choice.
has been going on for so long that I
Terrible.
feel like well, I feel like now it's like an obligatory thing. If you mention John Cena, it's like, hey, it's pretty cool how they had the Invisible Man star in this movie. I didn't realize he'd make an appearance.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Sue Storm was a character in this movie.
Hmm.
It's obligatory now. If you don't mention it, then it's like, hey, someone else is going to make that joke. And I don't want you guys to have the satisfaction, audience.
Well, is that joke still funny?
Probably not.
No.
I think that's literally the definition of a tedious joke where it's like you kind of have to make it.
Yeah, you do have to. Would you respect someone if they like knew the joke, but whenever they talk about John Cena, they avoid ever mentioning the joke, or someone that is like feels obligated to make a joke every time they mention him? What do you respect
I
more?
would respect someone who knows the joke, but every time someone talks about it, they pretend like they don't get it.
Mm,
Like they go, "What are you talking about? John Cena was in that movie.
to
He was right
gaslight.
there. What are you blind?" It's like can be complete spoil sport to the whole thing. That's what I would respect the most.
So you enjoy gaslighting, is what you say?
Yes, I am. This is a 100% pro gaslighting podcast.
Mm-hmm.
If someone makes that joke around you, be like, "What are you talking about? Are you crazy?" And if they start to explain that it's a joke, be like, "It's okay. You don't have to lie to me.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a hot day outside?"
um. Yeah, Suicide Squad. Nothing but
By
the
James the
coverage.
Gaslighter Gunn, as he is commonly known.
um, I want to ask you something. So, in the trailer, it says in the beginning, it says like from the beautifully like
The
sick mind of
horribly beautiful mind.
yeah. I was wondering, is that a reference to the tweets James Gunn made, calling his own mind horrible, or is that that he got canceled and then uncanceled for, I guess, or is that just I don't know where I'm going with this. Is that
Maybe his mind is just. I didn't read those tweets that he got canceled for. I really don't know what they were about.
uh-huh.
I mean, every time. It's like when I remember when Black Mirror came out and people would always say, from the twisted mind of Charlie
Right.
Booker. And it's like every time someone describes, or like it's like in the first Suicide Squad when the Joker had like, what was it, like demented written on his forehead?
Yes.
And it was damaged. He had like damage.
Damaged.
Every time someone describes themselves as being like sick and twisted,
Ooh,
I
I'm edgy.
I immediately have to assume that you are the biggest nerd I've ever met.
Yeah.
From
Um
the totally edgy and cool, this ain't your mom's superhero movie. The
should
characters swear. They swear in this one.
should we upgrade or update the description of our show to a show about movies from the normal minds of Declan and Evan?
From the normal, sane, well adjusted minds of Declan. See, that makes you sound genuinely
Smooth
crazier
brain.
if you say from the totally normal and not at all strange mind of
Yeah.
James Gunn.
That's what Marvel should market all their trailers with. from
from the normal minds at Marvel,
from the dark mind of Zack Snyder.
from the sick, twisted mind of Jesus Christ.
Justice League in black and white.
It's black and white because that's what art looks like, Declan. I
I'm
don't think
sorry.
you understand.
I'm sorry. Um,
It's in 4:3 because that's what art looks like.
preserve
Ever
my
seen
vision.
ever seen a VHS rip of like the Animaniacs or the Simpsons? That's what art looks like.
Yeah. So this movie is from the tortured mind of James Gunn. They tortured him at Marvel. Um,
Yeah, they had him like strapped to a chair in a kind of Clockwork Orange type thing
mhm.
the entire time during Guardians of the Galaxy. And now he gets to stretch his legs with this R-rated. I mean, James Gunn's R-rated movies are a lot better than his PG-13 ones. Like if you
Okay.
guys have seen Super, it's a very funny, good film. Definitely a feel good superhero comedy. Or if you've ever seen his first movie, Tromeo and Juliet, that's that is one watch. So
Have you ever seen Nomeo and Juliet? Is that what that movie's called with the garden gnomes?
Oh yeah. Do they kill themselves at the end, like in the Shakespeare play? You
Probably
think?
not. They're gnomes, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they don't have souls, so
Yeah.
they are God's abominations.
Yeah.
That's how it ends. Is that they try to get their marriage like ordained by a priest, and the priest says, I can't do this. You're not a man. You are God's abominations.
Uh-huh. It'd be a twist. So I liked this trailer. It was good, even though we didn't talk about it too much. That's what you
Well,
get here.
what's there to talk about? I mean, it's like
Exactly, exactly.
these cool, quirky characters. They all got to get together. They're gonna stop. Did they say who they're gonna stop?
It's I guess it's a comic book character, but I think it's some like giant creature, like a octopus kind of. What's its name? Give me 1 second as I saw a tweet about it. But they didn't show the villain fully, but I think they said the name or something. It is Starro.
Oh wait, Starro?
Hmm.
I didn't see him. He's a big starfish.
Yeah, they just showed like his legs.
Oh, so
Legs. I
missed
don't know.
that.
Does starfish have legs? I don't know.
Oh, they're all legs.
Sure.
Isn't
Um.
Starro like he's like a big like starfish and he's got an eye in the middle?
Mhm.
And I think that if I'm incorrect, please correct me. I think that
No,
eye
you're
can
right.
shoot lasers,
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
but I can't recall.
That'd be cool. I like the cast of this movie a lot. I like uh the Invisible One. I like Pete Davidson. I like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn a lot. Oh, very good in that role. I like
Robbie is great. Idris
Sylvester
Elba is great. Pete Davidson is great.
Idris Elba. I forgot.
Sylvester Stallone
I
looks
wish
great.
Will Smith was back. I can't lie.
Yeah, but
Although that movie took itself way too seriously. This movie doesn't seem like it is. This movie's gonna like kill everyone. Probably.
see, that's how superhero movies kind of should be.
Hmm.
I think within the universe, it takes itself seriously, but we, the audience, should not be expected to care.
No.
That's the best kind of tone you want to get for a project that's as high concept as that.
Hmm.
Like, the characters take it seriously. They.
Well, I would argue these characters take things less seriously.
It's true. These characters do kind of like joke about the inherent
Death.
ridiculousness and everything.
They don't care if they die.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's like they're so sick and twisted.
That's from James Gunn's sick and twisted mind, so how could they not be?
James Gunn, more like Joker
Uh-huh.
from the damaged mind of the Joker comes.
from the from the very damaged mind of Jared Leto, his performance as the Joker.
What if they did like as a viral like marketing thing, like a movie directed by Jared Leto as the Joker?
I would watch it. I would be there.
It's
We would
like
have a musical number for sure.
it's just like a regular movie, but everyone's just got like the Joker makeup on.
Yeah. Isn't that right? Batman.
It's so
We should
sick
do
and twisted.
we should do a full episode of our Joker impressions.
To the Joker, crazy straws are just like regular straws.
That's right.
To
Do you
the
think he
Joker,
uses them?
crazy glue is just a normal amount of glue.
It's just glue. To Harambe, Gorilla Glue is just glue.
That's a blast from the past. What was that? That was like
16, probably, I would say.
2016. Yeah.
Probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Harambe.
Harambe, Suicide Squad.
Hmm.
Harambe made an appearance in the Suicide Squad trailer as an inmate at Blackwaters. There was some monkey in
It
there.
was uh it's the name's like Rascal, or I think it's Weasel.
Oh, Weasel, right?
Um yeah, Weasel. And it's James Gunn's brother who also he does like the mocap stuff for Rocket as
Yeah,
Bradley Cooper records his lines from his mansion in LA, I'm sure.
yeah.
I actually like Bradley Cooper a lot though, because he's also an Eagles fan like me. He's just like me.
I think you're just like Bradley Cooper.
I think I am Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I'm very excited for this movie. I like this cast. I'm gonna see it in the theaters, even though it'll be on HBO Max because I like it. I just hope it's better. I mean, this is already better than the original Suicide Squad, right?
I agree, but that's not like a high bar.
No. Well, there was campaigns for the original David Ayer who directed Suicide Squad. I think that was like 2016 or 17, 7. But
Well, the
they
thing
want
with
to
like the
release.
Justice League is that you think about like, the Justice League, or the only other time I can think about something similar to that is like the Superman 2 Donner cut.
Mm,
And in both of those things, it's a different director doing it. So it's a different tone, it's a different feeling, different things are focused on. With the Suicide Squad David Ayer cut, I don't know. Are we certain that this film won't just be the Suicide Squad that we saw, but like longer? You know,
um, yeah, I don't know. There's so many different characters here.
true.
Um, yeah, it
Some
very
director's
well could be.
cuts are very good. I think some directors' cuts are better than the original. A lot
Oh,
are.
sorry, you're talking about the director's cut of the OG Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
My bad. Sorry, I was half listening because I was looking something up. Yeah, I have no real interest in really seeing the original cut of the original Suicide Squad. I mean, I think Zack Snyder's Justice League is long enough to if I want to watch a DC movie director's cut, so which I don't really want to in the first place. So
hey, remember that movie you didn't like? You want to see it again, except it's 4 hours long.
yeah. I mean, hey, there
I liked the Justice League Zack Snyder cut. I thought it was
I agree. It's a good
fairly.
movie.
I thought it was a decent watch. So
Yeah.
maybe
But yeah, that the original Suicide Squad is just so dark and gross looking that
it's very ugly.
it's
It's an
gross.
ugly looking film.
Yeah. It's like murky.
It feels moist.
Feels like it takes place in a swamp.
Yeah.
Does it at all? I don't know.
Oh, there's a
No.
crocodile in it.
Yeah, Killer Croc. He's not in this one.
No, now they
He
have
didn't
King
die
Croc.
though. Does he just? Did they just
Doesn't he
erase him?
sacrifice himself at the end? I forgot what
That
happened.
was LD. That was the guy, the fire guy, the
Oh,
with the skull.
fireman.
El Diablo, I think his name was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
such rich characters.
Hmm.
Such rich and grossing characters. Fire guy, gun guy,
If Jared Leto was such a good
katana.
Joker, why didn't he sacrifice himself?
I I remember the trailers made it sound like they were gonna team up and fight the Joker, which is like that must have
Fighting the
been.
Joker?
I remember the trailers. That's what I thought the movie was gonna be about.
Yeah.
Was like they have to team up and they have to fight the Joker.
Yeah, he was in it much less than you would have thought.
No, he's in it for like 2 seconds, and
Yeah.
said they fight like a crazy tree lady,
Cara Delevingne.
Cara Delevingne,
Hmm.
in a career-making performance.
Did you see the meme that was like on the internet this week of the guy selling like the Joker chair on eBay?
Yeah, it's just a chair that has like "ha ha ha" written all over it. To the Joker, that's just normal furniture.
No, did the
The
Jared
Joker,
Leto
that's stylish. That's just stylish interior design.
Jared Leto overpaid for that chair. It's in
That's
his
just Jared
house.
Leto's chair. What are you talking about?
Okay.
You say you go to the Joker and you're like, "Hey, this chair is all messed up. It's got ha ha written on it." And the Joker is like, "What are you talking about? This is a regular chair."
Oh, the Joker chair. I saw that and I was rolling. It's-
Joker chair.
Hey, hey. to to that guy's point though, the Haas look pretty similar to the tattoos Jared Leto's Joker had that said ha 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 on them. So
Yeah.
he's not wrong.
The word "ha" is inherently Joker-esque.
Laughing was invented by the Joker.
Ever seen the movie Finding Nemo? It's
Hmm.
full of clownfish, or as the Joker calls them,
Normal
regular
fish.
fish,
Hmm.
because he is somewhat of a clown.
Hmm. The Clown Prince.
Remember when the country had like a clown problem? Like, wasn't that
That was
2016?
2016. Wow, a lot of 2016. What happened in 2016?
There was a clown problem with America.
There
America had
was a
like,
clown. There was. I remember there was one like not far from me too.
there was always the threat that like, hey, those clowns are just. No one ever died from that, did they?
I was
That-
gonna ask that. I don't know. Like,
I
like
think
I
one
can't
guy
say.
might have died. I think one guy might have like one clown might have like gotten shot at or something.
Well, what? This was such an absurd situation. Like, were they just standing? Like, I never had an interaction with one. So were they
Apparently they were
just
just like standing menacingly in this. And the thing is, what's weird about it, what's weird, they would just like stand menacingly on the side of the road, but I never heard about any clowns getting like caught and going to jail.
right? They the clown problem was ignored.
And then they just went away.
Yeah, where'd they go? Are they all in the same place right now?
They're at Yeah, they are all the same place. They're all working for the Joker.
Uh huh. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think the people who dressed up as them still have their costumes?
You think that that's like the police are like knocking and they're trying to hide all the clown paraphernalia around their house?
Put it away. Put it away.
Hey, flush those shoes down the toilet.
That
Like
was
the cop opens the water and he goes, "What is this?" And he drinks it and it's like, "It's seltzer," and he throws it at him.
did I was like kind of scared of them, but I never had an interaction with one. So
It was kind of like the feeling then was kind of like the feeling when Corona just started, where
Mhm.
you're kind of like, this is kind of fun. Let's see how this turns out. And that situation, surprisingly, the murderous clown situation ended up a lot better than the disease situation.
What if the clowns lasted as long as the pandemic has?
Like, what if they could just like walk outside and there's like a could
There's
you
just
imagine like you're like about to leave for work and it's like, oh, there's a clown outside.
I think you would know them by name at that point.
Yeah, hey Bonzo.
It's it's just Jared doing his thing.
Full time, like they're hired.
Yeah. The
It'd be a
clown.
clown world, or as the Joker calls it, it'd be a world.
Yes. Speaking of Jokers, Disney's Joker, or the Cruella de Vil movie, starring Emma
You
Stone.
can call me crew. Maybe her name is something like Carol Johnson, and then
Hmm.
like, at that masked ball, she's like, "What's your name?" And it's like, "My name? You can call me Cruella." And there's a dramatic musical sting, and she's
Hmm.
like showing off her dress. And then later, she brutally murders a puppy.
Yes. So Disney announced that Cruella movie and
Will be
Black
rolled
Widow.
for graphic
um,
violence and sexual content.
both these movies will be on Disney Plus, and in theaters.
Mhm.
But you have to pay $30 to watch Black Widow and Cruella. You can't uh watch them both for $30. You have to pay.
This is
And
the one
Disney has
time
done
when it's
this twice.
cheaper to go to the movies than to watch it at home.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting my second shot like next week. So I if I want to see Black Widow and that's still months away, and the Suicide Squad, like I said, I'll go to the theaters and watch them. I think paying $30 on Disney Plus is a little much,
Yeah,
while you're already
thirty
paying for it.
dollars on Disney Plus. Like you just go pay. Go at 2 o'clock and you can pay like $9 at the movies. So why?
Yep, if you sneak snacks in like me.
Yeah, just go with a pocket full like M&Ms.
Hmm.
And you
And munch on them as you see Emma Stone, troubling upbringing.
see Emma Stone struggling up. What if it's like a Jeffrey, like that movie My Friend Dahmer, where
Hmm.
like we see like young Cruella, she's just like torturing animals and stuff.
A young Jared Leto, just laughing maniacally.
Jared Leto actually, being the method actor he is,
Uh-huh.
surgically transformed himself into a 10-year-old girl to play young Cruella. Fun fact.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's good for him. Um, yeah, I don't think much of this. I think it'll make Disney a lot of money if people are too nervous to go to theaters. I think if anything, if these two movies will be paid for by people, a big Marvel property when it'll be 2 years now between the Marvel movies, so people are
Ooh.
wanting that unless they're maybe not since they have the shows for free. They're on Disney Plus, not for free if you have a Disney Plus subscription, but that's certainly interesting. And then also, their Pixar movie, which we talked about the trailer, Luca, is going to Disney Plus, but that's you don't have to pay for it. So like they did with Soul and Onward, both Pixar properties, they just put them on there for free, so they're putting this one on there too.
I think they're more confident that enough people will watch that movie that it'll cover costs.
Right, because it's a children's movie, and you know,
The
um,
appeal feels a lot. The appeal versus cost seems a lot more stacked in their favor for that
mhm,
than like Black Widow, which I might not be true, but that's like what, at least $100 million, I imagine, for that movie.
yeah.
So yeah.
All of it to Scarlett Johansson, though.
All of it to her budget. I'm very happy that they took a chance on a young Asian American actress like Scarlett Johansson to make this film. $200 million. So I was actually lowballing myself.
Well, 200 million for young Asian upcoming Scarlett Johansson.
Of course.
When Scarlett Johansson listens to our show, do you think she'll be mad at us or unfo?
No, I think she'll be very happy that we recognize, her struggle as an actress of color coming up in such hostile industry.
She's had such a tough career. So I mean, good for her for getting her big break.
Getting your big break with this Black Widow movie.
Because they figured after they kill off her character, then they should make a movie. So,
That's probably why they put that $30 surcharge on it. I think a lot of people are going to be like, "Hey, isn't she dead?"
how is this happening? Yeah, what timeline is this?
I think a majority of people aren't as, I don't know, I might be wrong. I mean, these movies make $1 billion, so, but I think the majority of these people aren't as intricately obsessed with the lore as a few people are. I think a lot of them are just like, "Hey, it's Iron Man. All right.
Blast things.
Hey, they're fighting that big laser in the sky."
Hey, this movie's not from the twisted mind of James Gunn.
This is from the sane, normal mind of Jon Favreau.
Mm-hmm.
Best known for his role.
Jon Favreau. What a
Favreau.
If there's ever been a normal guy, I think it's Jon Favreau, right?
Jon Favreau had his role, had his Jokerization in his role as a clown in that episode of Seinfeld, where
Really?
yeah, have you? That's a true fact. Actually, he plays a clown in an episode of Seinfeld when there's a fire at a birthday party and George Costanza pushes an elderly woman out of the way to run out of the building.
Interesting. Yeah. I do like Jon Favreau. I like Elf a lot.
Very good actor and a good director.
Never should have done the Lion King movie though.
Hey, what are you talking about? The movie was great.
I don't want to speak about it. So there's your update, your intense Disney Plus coverage. Be on the lookout for how much money this movie makes, and we'll see if Scarlett Johansson gets any roles after this.
It's very daring, project.
I know she has a very diverse background, so she'll probably find an opening somewhere if they need a new James Bond, maybe. We'll see.
They're making, another Color Purple remake. They might need her for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Be good. It'll be, like I said, first role ever, so good for her. New Falcon and Winter Soldier episode. What'd you think?
Well, I thought that, our latest broadcast from the United States Department of Defense, it was pretty, compared to the last episode, which I thought, oh, this is interesting because it feels different. I remember I said, it doesn't feel like they're jingling keys in front of me. And then this time, it was just
I thought it was pretty stretched out.
Yeah, they went further in that direction, which, I don't know, maybe this is be careful what you wish for, because it felt different, but this time it was just boring different. And because it still is that keys jingling kind of thing, I feel like now, because they're really trying hard to pretend that it's not, it makes it all more apparent that it is. I'm thinking maybe as the series progresses, again, the fact that they're fighting some kind of group called the Flag Smashers, this seems so rudimentary that maybe they might do something interesting with it. Maybe we might see that, maybe the way they described them made it be like, oh well, maybe they're going to be like, oh, maybe these quote unquote terrorists aren't that bad. Maybe they've got some good. I mean, maybe it'll be like in Captain America, you know, in like the comics, there would be a lot of times when he would be like, "Oh no, I'm not going to go with what the U.S. wants me to. I'm going rogue," which he does, I think, in Winter Soldier, right?
Right.
So maybe we might see some of that because it seems to be like they want to make a bigger statement about what being, I guess, Captain America means, and how maybe it might be something like they might go into the territory of like in Watchmen, how they have like the comedian who's kind of like another sort of state sanctioned superhero who in Watchmen he ends up being like a sociopathic murderer who like commits like horrible like atrocities overseas. Maybe they might explore something like that. Then this new Captain America, maybe he turns out to be a bad guy.
Hmm.
May- I'm just theorizing interesting things that they could do because this episode was just really not. It wasn't interesting.
Yeah, I think with both like the Disney plus Marvel shows, they've tried to tackle like big world issues. So that part of it is certainly interesting, but um episode itself, like we see um Sam and Bucky just kind of meet up out of nowhere. I guess this is spoiler warning for the episode. Um I didn't really get like why Bucky was there with the Air Force. Like Sam was doing jobs with them. We got that explained to us in the last episode, and then Bucky kind of just shows up. So I guess I don't know. Am I missing something, or was that just a random?
Yeah, it's like this episode. It just felt like not too much really. If you're watching it, I'm honestly saying you could just watch a recap of this episode and you'll be fine. Some of the things I thought were like neat, and I'm like, in a more interesting episode, I would like it. I like when like that bit where the police show up and they're giving him a hard time, and then they find out he's an Avenger, and they're like,
Right.
"Oh, I'm sorry about that," and that would be interesting in a more interesting work. That's how I feel about Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it's the same way I felt about WandaVision, where it's a lot of interesting ideas. And for parts of it, I like how both of these, at least initially, don't feel that much like Marvel properties, like other Marvel properties, which I liked. And I hope that, unlike WandaVision, it can maybe stick to this and do some cool, interesting stuff outside of that Marvel formula. Like, really commit to doing something strange and interesting. But maybe, again, perhaps that's too much to ask for this joint venture by, Disney and
Hmm.
the U.S. Department of Defense to make our weekly transmission. But
Yeah.
it, I thought that this episode was a little bit of a letdown. Wasn't the worst, but you can probably skip this one.
Agreed. Yeah, like you mentioned, where they have that bit with Sam and Bucky with the cops, and then the cop is like, "Is this guy giving you a hard time?" And then Bucky's like, "Do you know who he is?" And he's Sam Falcon, and obviously everyone knows the Avengers. And we saw that like last week too when they were in the bank, when the guy was like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "The Falcon." And he's like, "Oh, you're the Falcon. Like, give me a picture with you or whatever." So like, there's clearly people give you a hard time and then they realize you're an Avenger, and it's like, please do this for me. Like they owe them
It's like
anything.
mild commentary on, I guess,
True.
how superheroes would be in your world, but maybe just because of the nature of how these movies are made, they can't go that far into it. They're because of how these films are produced
Hmm.
and because of the people that produce them and like the methods under which they are made and the people they have to consult to make them within like, our government and whatever, they can't go as far as they probably should to make it to make it interesting or new or different.
Sure. What'd you think of our new Captain America, John Walker? Obviously, I think they want everyone to think he's a jerk. He was a jerk at some points in this episode, I think, but he's like the government's Captain America, like their perfect ideal, you know, American soldier. And I kind of felt like a comparison you can make here is like with Hayward, the director from WandaVision. Um, like it's like kind of he's objectively a bad guy, but it's like almost a little up to you how you interpret him. But at the end of the day, they're trying to make you not like this guy, I guess, because he's not, Captain America. Obviously, he's not Chris Evans. So, did you think anything of John?
Again, I thought it was interesting. Again, I mentioned the comedian earlier, and I hope they, again, it's probably asking too much, but I hope they can dig their heels in.
If you heard a little glitch or saw Evan freeze, no, you didn't. We have no technical difficulties ever and did not pause the recording as you were saying about John Walker, Evan. What do you think?
Uh, yes. No, absolutely no technical difficulties at all. Anyway, I hope they can like fully commit to whatever they're doing this time and not just like switch it halfway again. But it's kind of gearing up for a big switch, is what it looks like. So I'm not getting my hopes up about this property.
No. Okay. I I am still excited because I like where the episode ended when they're going to Baron Zemo because I'm a fan of Captain America Civil War. I feel like we didn't get as much of him as we should have. He was kind of thrown into the middle of this Iron Man versus Captain America, and they were like, "Hey,
Yeah,
we need a villain."
I remember that being like really weird. How it's like the villain was revealed in the last like 2 minutes, and then like never seen again. It's like, oh wait, what? This whole thing was started because of like this one guy, and we're not gonna like stop him.
I feel like they just felt the need to have a villain in all their movies and didn't want the heroes to be the villains themselves. They didn't, although it was a Captain America movie, I feel like they didn't want them as a studio take the side of one of Iron Man or Captain America. They wanted the viewer to decide, so they threw in a villain like this is the person to be mad at.
Yeah, they threw in like an arbiter to be like, okay, I guess because yeah, you don't really want to make like a definite point on who's the best one,
But
because
it
then
was
that
a Captain
begets like
America movie, so I wouldn't have been too mad.
I guess it kind of begets like ideology and stuff like that. So who really knows?
It was from the genius mind of Kevin Feige, and the Russo brothers.
I can't remember what was that Oh right, it's like okay, there's going to be like some rules for superheroes or something like
It's
that.
the Sokovia Accords, and basically, since the Avengers always leave damage and people basically die wherever they fight, the government wants to control them basically so they only fight battles where they're absolutely needed instead of going somewhere on their own terms, which by the way is wrong. They're superheroes. The government shouldn't restrict them. People are going to die if you have supervillains anyway. Get over it. Captain
Right.
America was right.
Captain America seems like the obviously correct side there. I don't see how that was a conflict.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think, what side was I on when I watched it? I cannot remember. I was on Team Cap, I feel like.
Yeah. I think I
I
liked Team Iron Man more at the time because they had Spider Man and they introduced Tom Holland. But Tom, like at the end of the day, his character had no clue what was going on. So
That's true. He was a dumb teenager, like we were watching that movie.
yeah.
It's just like, hey, he's cool. I'll be on
Hmm.
his side.
Hmm.
But I'm thinking about it. Team Cap was definitely It's definitely like the objectively correct position. I feel
Hmm.
like it's like, hey, you want the most powerful beings in the world at the whim of like our local government.
Hmm.
Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be amazing?
And that's why I think this is tying into Falcon and Winter Soldier so much too, because our new Captain America is completely from the government, and they're like,
Yeah.
"All right, here's a bad guy. Deploy Captain America."
I mean, so again, if they can like explore some of that, which again, I don't have really any conviction that they will, but if they do, then that'd be interesting. That'd be nice.
Hmm. Yeah. So,
Again, palette is so dulled that like something interesting would make this like one of like the best Marvel properties I've seen if it was just
hmm
interesting.
yeah. So, I at least have higher hopes for the show moving forward. I agree that the first episode was probably better, but I like Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan together, and now bringing in Baron Zemo. I think from here on out, hopefully, we should see an increase in awesome stuff from the awesome mind of everyone at Marvel.
The totally normal and not twisted mind
Yes.
of everyone at Marvel.
Hmm. Some little news. Pierce Brosnan has been cast as Dr. Fate in Shazam or in the Black Adam movie. I guess he'll be the villain, starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Black Adam. Noah Centineo is in this movie. Aldous Hodge is also in this movie, who he was Jim Brown in One Night in Miami, and every
Right.
actor in that was good. So I like that, and I think he'll be awesome in a comic book movie. I forget who else is in this. There's a couple other people because it's a movie which people are in.
Well, there's recent announcement about who was going to be in it, right? Oh, no, wait, that was Shazam 2. Never mind, not
There's
Black
Shazam
Adam.
too.
Yeah.
No, Aldous Hodge's Hawkman. That's awesome. Um,
Oh.
we have Quintessa Swindell as
Uh,
She-Hulk woman.
was she in anything?
Nothing that I see here.
I'm
But
sure she's been in something. She's cast as it says Cyclone.
a Cyclone. Okay,
Okay.
so cool. The cast of this sounds really good. I think Dwayne Johnson's producing this. He probably is because he's like one of the most like
Biggest
pe-
people in.
yeah, like in physically and literally. Um, so yeah, this sounds cool. I think Pierce Brosnan as a cool comic book villain, also cool.
Yeah.
So just please let us not have Noah Centineo ruin this movie. I think
I
there's a
think
good
he
chance he might.
will un. I think he will unabashedly improve this film. We need some eye candy like Noah C.
Hmm.
I don't know
Who's
a
we?
better actor than him.
Hmm. All right.
Star of the film Sierra Burgess is a Loser, which has a current score of 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
This is actually.
As far as
I'm
I know,
kidding. Yeah, I'm sure it does.
as far as I,
Every movie he's
61%.
in, I
That's higher
think,
than
is
I
above
thought.
90.
61%, actually. That's higher than I thought.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
Yeah.
Um, Issa Rae has signed an. I think I don't know if this is official yet. But I saw an article that she has signed an 8-figure deal for 5 years with Warner Media to develop multiple projects. Um, HBO Max. She does Insecure, which I know it's on HBO Max. Obviously, it's not an original though. I guess it was on HBO. I saw her host Saturday Night Live earlier this year, and I thought she was very charismatic. I actually have not seen her in anything else, I don't think, but this is pretty awesome because she's probably set for life now if she wasn't already. So,
10-figure deal.
yeah,
Isn't that what we all want?
that's what we all want. So, yeah, that's awesome news. And maybe I'll check out some of her current or future projects. I'm sure there will be many of them, and maybe we'll watch them without knowing it since she's locked in there and probably will make a bunch of stuff. So,
We'll probably end up at least watching one, I imagine.
right. Um, Evan, are you familiar with former Vine comedian, now I guess probably Instagram or something, Rudy Mancuso?
I'm hearing this name for the first time.
Okay, well, he has been cast in The Flash. He is
The
starring
TV
Ezra
show?
Miller.
Oh, the
No,
film. Okay.
the movie.
That's new.
Um, I don't know. Hopefully not a big role, but he's one of those social media people, and he somehow got in a DC movie. So,
Hey, if Addison Rae can be in She's All That Too,
mhm.
He's All That, then I'm sure that what's his name?
Rudy
Rudy.
Mancuso.
Yeah, I'm sure that guy can be in
He's got
Rudy Mancuso.
mhm.
Oh,
He's
then
got
I'm
the acting
sure
chops.
that the Vine legend Rudy Mancuso can
Mhm.
be a lead in this film. I imagine he'll be great.
Okay. A National Treasure rework is in the works at Disney, starring a Latina girl and her friends. It will explore her, I believe it said, like finding her family. It'll explore different themes such as like patriotism. I love the National Treasure original movie, and the second one is good too. I guess no Nicolas Cage coming back.
I'm sure they'll give him a cameo. He's been in a lot of stuff recently, so
Right.
he was in that movie Color Out of Space this year, and
Willy's
Mandy,
Wonderland.
huh? Willy's
Willy's
Wonderland.
Wonderland.
Yeah, Willy's Wonderland was this year. Color Out of Space was last year, and then he was in that movie Mandy the year before. So he's had a pretty good track record so far, it seems.
I still need to watch Willy's Wonderland.
Me as well. That's the only one I haven't seen.
Um, so if they make a good National Treasure remake, then I'm all for it, and we'll always have the originals as well. So cool. Helen Mirren has been cast as a villain, maybe not the main villain, but in a villain role in Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods. I
Yeah.
believe Dwayne Johnson will be the main villain. But do you like that Helen Mirren is involved now?
I mean, I remember when another classical British actress, Julie Andrews, was in Aquaman at the end, and I remember that was pretty neat. I don't know if it's going to be like that or if she's going to be a much bigger character,
Hmm.
but either way, fine, good. She's a good
Hmm.
actress, so.
All right. Here's a direct quote from our favorite Twitter account at Discussing Film.
Mhm.
David Hasselhoff has been cast as David Hasselhoff in a new TV series that follows David Hasselhoff, who gets caught up in an international conspiracy of former Cold War assassins. Are you a fan of David Hasselhoff?
I'm a fan of whatever this is because it sounds amazing.
There you go. I bet it will be. Something else that might be amazing. Evan Peters has been cast as Jeffrey Dahmer in Jeff Dahmer Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, which is on Netflix. Netflix loves their murderers, don't they?
I think the fact that it's called Monster, a Jeffrey Dahmer story, makes it sound like a Troy McClure title.
Hmm.
So I do look forward to this piece.
And we love Evan Peters here.
Yeah.
That's not sarcastic, by the way. I do actually love Evan Peters.
I as well. From the sick and twisted mind of Evan Peters.
Mm-hmm. He kind of looks like him too, from the if you see that side by side picture.
Yeah. I mean, they got, even if he didn't, they got amazing hair and makeup people. I'm
Right.
sure they make him look like him, you know.
Sure. All right. Evan, anything you watched this week that you want to talk about?
I did. I watched this film, the classic 80s cheese horror film, Basket Case. And if you've never seen Basket Case, it's the heartwarming tale of a young man who carries around his separated Siamese twin in a basket. His twin is, of course, a mutant and looks like a basketball made of flesh.
Hmm.
And they use it to get revenge on those doctors who separated them against their will. Because they didn't want to be separated. They wanted to be a horrible, freakish mutant creature. And so when they separated into one just like handsome, normal looking guy and one twisted flesh pile, they get angry. And so the Siamese twin, he brings them to doctors' offices and he opens the basket and the twin pops out and he like eats the doctors. It's what surprised me, first of all, is that this movie has two sequels.
Mm.
And what surprised me, secondly, is that it's genuinely not an awful movie.
Well,
It's always listed when you talk about like weird 80s horror. People always go like, oh yeah, like Basket Case or like Krull or whatever. So
I want to watch
good.
Krull.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I watched Crazy Stupid Love on
Mm-hmm.
Netflix, and it was very good. I thought it was going to be a dumb rom com, even though I really liked the cast I saw before I watched it. Of course, we see Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling together in this movie, so I had to make my La La Land prequel joke on Letterboxd. Felt obliged. Very good movie. Steve Carell, Julianne Moore, Marissa Tomei, all your
Okay.
white favorites. So
Every single one.
yeah, all in one. So there you go. And there's a big, I wouldn't say big twist. There's a plot twist in this movie that's very good. Don't read anything about them. My new thing, I think my new thing is going to be not watching or reading anything about a movie before I watch it, because then
I did
I'm
it for a long time, but ever since quarantine, now I'll just like look up a movie and I'll be like, well, I've got time, and then I'll track it down and watch it.
mm,
So many times will I do that. So
it's so weird. I just got a notification on my Apple Watch that Evan liked my review of Crazy Stupid Love on
yeah,
Letterboxd.
when I went in there and I was like, huh, I didn't even know you wrote a new review.
Yeah, so watch it. I watched it a couple
Oh
days
wait,
ago.
another film I watched, I forgot to mention,
Hmm.
is Bo Welch's 2003 masterpiece in surreal horror, The Cat in the Hat,
Hmm.
starring Mike Myers and Kelly Preston and Alec Baldwin and Sean Hayes and Spencer Breslin and Dakota Fanning, I think, and other people. It's a great film.
It is.
I think this movie is a one. If you watch it with the mindset, right, that it's a horror film and that Mike Myers as the Cat in the Hat is like a horrible, like tortured soul that's being forced to do shtick as like punishment, from like hell.
Hmm.
And he, is forced to like sick himself upon these two unsuspecting children. And he's all the time doing these awful shtick and these awful jokes. And he's not relieved of his.
Um, no more
And
technical
another
difficulty.
thing, oh, whoops,
Nothing happened.
some kind of technical difficulty happened.
No.
They must not have happened.
No.
It was a completely seamless transition.
Yeah.
Anyway, despite this jump cut in time, I think we can all agree that Cat in the Hat is a timeless classic, shot by, of course, as we've mentioned before, Oscar winner Emmanuel Lubezki. So,
There we go.
definite recommend. Speaking of films I have recorded on Letterboxd,
We have a few that we would like to bring directly to you. I have 3. Evan, would you like to start?
once again, we've got our classic segment of our
Mm-hmm.
Letterboxd corner, and
Mm-hmm.
I've got 3 as well.
All right. I'll let you lead off
So,
then.
I'll read my first. For Grown Ups 2, from Dirk H., he
Mm-hmm.
leaves it 1/2 a star and says, 246,984,278 worldwide. Our species does not deserve to live.
Very good. Dark H. That's his 3rd review that we have read from him. Um, if you're looking at the screen right now, watching our video, Evan is totally not frozen, and this is definitely not the 3rd time this has happened this episode. And we definitely won't take a break and be right back. All right. No breaks, like I said. We're going right into my 3rd review. Or first review. Sorry, jumping the gun a little bit there. My first review is
This is
from
the only error of the entire night, by the way.
Mhm. And this is a review with no stars from Adrian Balboa for OG Suicide Squad. And he says, I didn't see this, but one thing I've learned from working at a movie theater is perfectly calling him the jokester will make everyone in the room very angry. Of course, he was referring to Joss Whedon, not the Joker.
He was referring to David Ayer, director
Yes,
of
right,
Suicide
right.
Squad, who was quite the jokester on set.
Is that right?
Yeah, in the role of the famous part of the jokester,
Mm.
Batsman's super arch nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
So, my second review is for a classical film called The Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
Alex PNG leaves it 1/2 of a star and says, "The Tin Man is my sleep paralysis monster."
Very nice.
Also from The Wizard of Oz, Manda Movie gives it 1/2 a star and says, "Not enough CGI."
Wow, that's probably true though.
Yeah, very little computer effects in that film,
Right.
sadly.
It's sad.
If only Victor Fleming? If only Victor Fleming had access to some kind of our new technology, he would have actually made a piece of art instead of that pretentious trash we call cinema.
Mm. We have a 1/2 star review here for The
Yeah.
Kissing Booth 1 from Jay, who says, this is the film equivalent of Steve Buscemi wearing a snapback, skating into school, and saying, how do you do, fellow kids? Of course, the famous
Steve
GIF used on
Buscemi,
Twitter. What show is that from? Do you have any
famed
clue?
sex symbol Steve Buscemi.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea actually.
Okay.
I'm looking that up though. Steve Buscemi, how do you do, fellow
Mm-hmm.
kids, is from the show 30 Rock.
Oh, okay. Have not seen 30
Haven't seen
Rock.
it.
No.
Well, I
Heard.
did watch 30 Rock, but I didn't finish it. Like when I was way younger.
Was
Like
it
when the
funny?
show was still coming out. I remember it being funny.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just got that thing where like you binge a show and then I caught up to it
Mm.
and then I was just kind of like bored with it.
Hmm. All right. You already read all
My
your
last
reviews.
review.
Oh, I'm sorry. I stepped on your feet.
Yeah,
I thought you only had
one
three.
more. Now, this is, of course, the second error of the evening. There have only been two,
Hmm.
and these have been those two. Tom and Jerry, which Ethan has not given a star rating. He merely says, maybe cinema deserves to die.
Maybe.
Of course, that is the slogan of our humble podcast, Save Entertainment. All movies are bad, and watching them makes you a bad person.
I kind of find it hard to believe a Tom and Jerry movie can be so hated.
I too find it hard to believe that this ambitious cinematic project has been so poorly reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
If only they had learned from the classics like the
Oh,
Smurfs movie, or what else? The
well,
second Smurfs movie.
I figured out what the problem was.
What?
Um, I think people were a little against the casting of as both Tom and Jerry in this movie, Scarlett Johansson playing both roles. That might be the backlash.
Oh, definitely.
Should have been just Tom, in my opinion.
I think it's good that they hired an actual cat and mouse actress to play those roles.
My last
A,
reveal.
a Siri just responded to that, so
Uh-huh. Evan cut out a little bit there, if anyone saw, but we didn't have to. We didn't have to stop this time because we never made any difficulty. Um. Okay, my last review is from the. This is a pre-release review, but it is on Letterboxd because everyone is anticipating it so much. We're skipping over. We did the Kissing Booth one. We skipped over Kissing Booth 2. We're on to Kissing Booth 3 already. I think it might come out this year. I hope it does because I'm an avid fan of.
I hope it comes out tomorrow.
Yeah. This is from. I might mispronounce your name if you're watching this. I'm sorry.
They're
Joel.
not watching this, don't worry.
Joel. Well, for future reference, what if we blow
Right.
up and they rewatch all our episodes?
Yeah, that's true.
Joel on tongue, who says, Citizen Kane, your days are numbered.
I think I agree with this person. I think that we're going to see this movie, because it is going to be screening at Cannes Film Festival this year. I think we're going to see it become, the next. I think, the director of this film, I forgot his name, I guess,
Zack Snyder.
Zachary Snyder. I think he's on his way to become, the next Richard Linklater in terms of just his
Mm,
amazing take on the youth and youth culture.
yeah. Um, Speaking of youth culture, all our fans watching this, like, subscribe, comment. If we asked you this at the beginning of our episode, if you're a real one, you would have already done it. But if you just skip to the end because you can't bear us for an hour plus, just at least like the video. At least add a review on the podcast apps. We're on Spotify, Apple, Google even. Look at that. We have a lot of content on the channel that you would all enjoy if you enjoyed this. And Evan, do you have anything else you want to add? Because I have something I want to quickly say to finish off the episode.
Nothing else I want to quick one to add. I'm desperate to hear this announcement.
It's a bit of a sad announcement, actually. I didn't address it during the show. I just wanted to say rest in peace to Jessica Walter. Arrested Development,
Sorry.
many, many other different projects. I only know her from Arrested Development, but she's one of the best parts of the show. So a big loss in the entertainment world, and
Um, Also, we gotta pour one out for George Segal,
George
who also
Segal.
passed away
Hmm.
this week. known for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, that film, as well as the movie Ship of Fools. So,
Yeah, so some big losses. Sorry to end the episode on a down note, but if if you want to if you want to lift your spirits a little bit, go check out those projects. Both George Segal and Jessica Walter are involved in, because they are sure to lift your spirits. So, all right, thanks for watching, everyone. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, wherever, um, new episodes every Friday. We clip out some stuff from the episode and put on the channel. Might do so this week as well. Uh, but stay tuned next Friday for another episode, and maybe even some more stuff coming. You never know. All right.
oh,
Thanks.
yeah.
Yes. All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening / watching / whatever you're doing. We'll see you next Friday. Bye. I didn't end it yet. Get played.